I guess everything that I'd experienced. I grew up in poverty, single parent family, literally not having food, right? Or just not being able to afford food. And then, the neighbors help out and then grandpa come and bring food this day. That's what I grew up in. And I just really wanted, I think I kind of maybe deluded myself. My name is Savannah, and I took it from my hometown, Savannah-la-Mar, which is on the opposite end of Kingston. Like, it's 4 hours away. Obviously, the basic thing is, I don't want to forget where I'm from. But if I search more within that, it's really that now I'm proud. Now I'm proud about it. Now I'm proud that I'm from Sav, and I'm proud of my humble beginnings, and I'm proud of the story that I've been able to carve out so far, following the thing that called me. You know what is the best name to choose? Because there was my friend Shanae that she was like, what about something to do with your hometown? And at first, like, I really hated the idea. I really hated the idea because I wanted so badly to run away from where I was from. I wanted to run away because I don't know. I wanted to run away from Sav because I didn't think I could be anything while still living there. Like, I had it in my head, and it has nothing to do with the tone. It's just how I saw myself.
Love you like mango. Better you give me some loving. See how far we can go. Imagine it be nice and something. Me say me love you like mango. I better you give me some loving. See how far we can go. Imagine it be nice and something. Tell you what I want to. Need a minute of your time. Look at me closely, coming and tell you no lie. Won't compete with no other. Where you feel like me and try.
For some reason, my schoolmates, classmates, they would think I'm weird. And I think it really was just that I was just socially awkward. It took me a while to kind of understand social cues and how to like be around people and make it make sense, because it didn't come naturally to me at all. Like people and being around people and interviews and even having friends like that, I don't think it didn't feel like a natural thing for me to look up, to seek out.
Love me, baby. I can't do it without you. Don't want no sometime love. Oh, nah, 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 nah. I don't want no sometime love. Oh, nah, 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 nah. Don't want no sometime love.
No, Sam, I don't remember the first time I wrote my first word. I remember that I started writing in a journal, though. Started writing down my feelings first as a child. And then that kind of was just the beginning of me writing, Because I've written all the songs that you've heard from me so far and will hear. I mean, obviously, I'm not opposed to collaborating on writing, but so far, that's just how it worked out. That's very much a part of who I am, too. Like, I definitely love songwriting. Like, I think I could just write songs for people. It kind of just put me face to face with my feelings, right? And then once you're able to kind of see yourself, read yourself back to you, you're like, wow, that's where I was, that's how sad I am, or that's how angry I am, and it makes you introspect. It forces it almost, because it's like you're confronted with you in a way. So it ended up being therapy, and that's why I think even now songwriting is so important to me, because I started writing before I started singing.
It would be golden, and I thought that you would notice that I ignored the others. I want your love and not another.
I really wanted to be like Celine Dion. I know she's a white woman. She is not Jamaican. She's, you know, but I really loved her song, and Mummy was always playing her music in the house. Honestly, genuinely, if I'm being really honest, yeah, I wanted to be like Celine Dion. I remember just singing her songs all the time. I would walk from the moon, just, you know, I thought she was the best singer that I'd ever heard, and I wanted to sing like her. I come from singers, actually. My grandmother is a singer, and then my father is a singer too. He's a multi-instrumentalist and singer, and I really only found that out recently because we didn't really have a relationship, but a lot of him is expressed through who I am, I think. Yeah, having being able to like sit down and talk to him now, I definitely see how I am who I am, and yeah, actually I see myself in him. You know, obviously I see myself in my mother, you know. I think she's where I got the fire from. Miss Beckford, have I forgiven my father? Yes, I have.
Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
It's hard sometimes.
Honestly, it was a very weird year. I felt like I really truly connected with God that year. And I just remember praying and like asking for more grace and asking to be more graceful. And one of the things that kind of came up, like bubbled up from underneath, was the resentment that I held on for my father. And I remember just praying for weeks and weeks until I got to the place where I was just like, you know what, I'm going to get his number and I'm going to call him. And so I got his number through, I think, my brother on his side, cool, on Facebook. And then I called him, and then I was like, and I started crying, and I said to him that I really would love to know what, you know, being your daughter could feel like. Like, I want to know what having a relationship and having a father would feel like. And he started crying, and I was really able to let go with that like call, like finally, you know. I think praying on it over time, the resentment kind of just like slowly just like broke off and just became dust. Yeah, so by the time I called him, I was in a place where I could be vulnerable enough to say that, and yeah.
When I give myself to no man, if it means I might have to go eat some bun. Got my soul too bright, I'm all too pricey. I long for love that will just never ever end, and I want you for myself. Don't think it's wrong to have these standards, no offense. I'm in a like embarrassment. No one, nobody man, nobody man, nobody man. Oh, me no want nobody boyfriend. It no fit my brand. Nobody man, nobody man, no one's man. Oh, me no want nobody boyfriend. Nobody's hand. I can't be alone if me not in the mess. Faithfulness.
Right now we are on Skyline Drive. It overlooks Kingston, and yeah, when I just moved to Kingston, I found myself up here a lot. There's something about just being high up and looking at a view that helps to put things into perspective. I remember the first instance in Kingston when I was like, yeah, I'm not going back home. I was just in a time of, I'm going to be here, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make my life here. That's what I remember, feeling very motivated about doing that. How old was I? 16. Yeah, I moved out of my mother's house. I moved to Kingston. When I was 16 and doing music, I remember me and because I was in a group back then. I remember we were bouncing from house to house because we didn't really have a base in Kingston. I never told my mother that though. But we're bouncing from house to house and kind of just like sleeping where we could in people's houses. Like a friend of a friend knows somebody where we can go. That's what we were doing. So until eventually, you know, the group split up and we were going back to work and figuring things out. Did I miss home when I was in Kingston finding my own way? No, I didn't. I love my mother so much, and like our relationship has blossomed in a way where I think we didn't really expect, but it was tense. It was a struggle living at home, you know. And I just think is what happens when you're growing up and you're forming your own opinions about life and just how things are supposed to go. And I've always been very headstrong, so I didn't really miss it. While I was here pushing, I was just thinking, yeah, I'm moving away from there so that I can actually like come and run after my dreams. And I really took that seriously. So I kind of didn't look back. What was motivating me to stay in Kingston and keep working? I guess everything that I'd experienced, you know. I grew up in poverty, right? Single parent family, literally not having food, right? Or just not being able to afford food, and then, you know, the neighbors help out, and then grandpa come and bring food this day. That's what I grew up in, and I just really wanted, I think I kind of maybe deluded myself. It started with me deluding myself, and then I actually believed that I don't know what I say. Somebody somewhere talk about them life story and how come from this and end up this, and you can be whatever you want. I don't know. I took that very seriously growing up.
Finish all of this will be a lesson. I am destined to be a lesson. Oh, listen to my soul. When I will live forevermore. Bloodline 10,000 strong. Please, Lord, make me live. Know me and the simple I believe. Now go get your way, you give me the please. Lord, make me live. Know me and the simple I believe. Now go get your way, you give me the meaning.
After that, the girl I was living with, the young woman I was living with, she heard about an open call that Protege was doing for Live from Kingston, right? By this time I was 22. You know, I'd put up some SoundCloud covers, and I was doing YouTube covers and all the rest of it. And she sent him my SoundCloud. And then that's when he like messaged me on Twitter. And I was just like, yo, you're so talented. And then I remember going to meet him with Shanae and me telling him that, listen, like, I have a whole vision for what I'm trying to do. I have my own vision for me I try to do, and no try feel like say go tell me, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was because I was very fiery growing up, and definitely angry too. Just I had something to prove, you know what I mean? He sat and he listened, and that was the thing that stood out for me, the fact that like he listened to what I was saying, as somebody who really didn't have any kind of clout to kind of speak the way, just speaking as direct as I was to him. He listened to me and heard me, and I was like, there's something here. That kind of began the relationship with me and Indig, and they were managing me for 7 years. You know, establishing my own record company and being really and truly autonomous in how I'm trying to approach music even from the business level. I don't know if there's anything I'm afraid of. I just think I'll just roll with the punches, and then if something is difficult, then I'll overcome it. I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it. Skyline is this is just a regular lookout spot, you know, that people come to, but it just ended up meaning so much to me. And it's crazy how a little tiny area could mean so much, you know? Aww.
I'm so happy you exist. Oh, that's so cute. I am. I love you so
Aww.
much. I do. Just listening to your story, I'm like, I know.
There's so much more coming too. So much more. So much more.
Thank you.
So much more coming to you. So much more.
Okay.
I'm not going to cry. Hold it together.
Hold it together.
Hold it together.
Stand up. Stand up.
That's love.
Yeah, no, I really do have some really good friends. Like they're my family. I kind of. Anyway, yeah, I'm grateful for my friends.
I
Exactly.
feelings. Life is trying to wear me thin. Not sure you like all my reasons. None of this is a sure thing. Don't know what to say, I don't know what to say. Feel like giving all my problems away. I don't know what to say, I don't know what to say. Feel like giving all my problems away. Let me be greater than this. Yeah, I just wanna be somebody. Doing my best, you see. So tired of fighting against the tide.
Right now we are at JLL Studio. Now JLL is an incredibly talented producer. I would call him a genius. And he's been one of the mainstay people that I work with throughout my career so far. And he's one of the main producers that I'm working with for my album. JLL, come on, say hi.
Savannah is just such a open, light personality. You know, I think she's one of the first artists that I felt really, truly respected me as a producer. You know, like I followed through with things, and I'm just like, well, like I'm so young and so foolish. Why are you gonna pay me for like sessions, or why are you gonna like link me, and why are you gonna tell me to come studio? Why are you gonna do all these things? You know, like but you know, she always followed through. And yeah, I think our working relationship is very comfortable.
Yeah,
you know?
it really just works with myself and JLL. As you grow with time and experiencing challenges and trials, you learn more about who you are as a person, right? And then with me being in the music, working with this producer and working with that producer, and having reggae sounds and having not necessarily fully easily recognizable reggae sounds too, I was just like, this is what I want to do. Depending on where you are in your life, you start to embrace more sides of yourself. I had a friend tell me, like, not even half an hour ago, that this year's the year for her to overcome her anxiety, you know? So it's just really, again, it's just a part of the human experience of, you know what, I'm going to full on step into my confidence. I'm going to say this, and then if you don't like it, then, you know, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Should I talk more about that? It is the most difficult thing, right? Going through just normal human being things that we all go through, right? Because my experiences are not unique to me. Yeah, well, sure, they're not, you know, I'm my own person and I am unique, but really we all go through the same things, right? And it is one of the most difficult things to have to process that and figure out where I am in everything that's happening to me, understanding that I am not my feelings, I'm not other people's feelings, I'm not other people's opinions. Sometimes I'm not even my own opinions that I have of myself, because sometimes they're not the best.
It's inside, 'cause I'm blessed. I'm so blessed, I'm so blessed, I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed, I'm so blessed, yeah.
2019, the end part of 2019 is when I went to Africa, Senegal. And I really went, honestly, it wasn't really to shoot a music video, but I went there because I was working on a project. I also tell stories through film directing, right? And I've collaborated with Yoram Savion on several films, as well as I've, you know, co-directed my music videos with him. And he had a project where he was sharing the narrative of a Senegalese native, and how they kind of navigate coming from America to Senegal to kind of reconnect with their heritage and their ancestry. And I had a whole heap of time near the end of the trip, and he was like, and I was playing If You Only Knew on loop, and he was like, we should do a song. And then I was, we should do a video. And I was like, yeah, we should do a video. So I went to the marketplace and got a few head wraps, I went on YouTube and I was like, I know how to do this head wrap. She just said, just wrap it around your head, tie we just shot the video and sent it to RCA. And they were like, this is incredible. And so that's how I end up shoot Senegal, 80% of it in Africa. The water scenes are the only scenes that were not shot in Senegal. The beauty of Senegal is unfiltered. It's like in your face. It's undeniable in a way where it's like, there's no pretense. And I really respect that. I really paid attention to the fact that if you only knew a love song talking about how far you'll go, me understanding that I am of African heritage, you know, and then being welcomed too. A lot of people thought I was a Senegalese native, and I was like, oh my God, they think I'm one of them.
This is it, this is it. Something special about this time, like we hit a write a story, one of a kind. Been so long ago since I could find same magnifique bright, I see a light shine. You're a real one, the gentle kind. You're not perfect, Lord knows you have some secret side, but I will keep them since it's been a while that I see you making effort to show me your mind. If you only know, oh babe. If you only know, oh babe. You only know, how far I'd go for you.
Because I am working on my first album, full-length album. So far I've put out 2 EPs, 6 songs each, and I've had single releases and so on. But the lyrics and everything come from my life experience, right? Things that just have shifted who I am. Things where you couldn't not think about, right? Like you experience something and that's all you think about for a while. That's where my lyrics come from. And I'm working with JLO to get that done. Also Kelsey of the Free Nationals, and then Panther he's from the UK. And I think between the 3 of those songs, I'm kind of just telling the story of how I'm choosing to move forward, how I'm still going after everything that I've experienced. 2021 was probably the worst year of my life. The music really is, it's the only thing I can do right now. It feels safe. Music, words, sitting down with the people, sharing the same space, sharing energy, having that synergy. I've really been practicing gratefulness down to the smallest things recently. Grateful for the sky today. It's blue. I'm grateful to be able to write. You know, it doesn't really go to the bigger things really. I kind of just because if you focus on the smallest things that you're grateful for, the other things that you're grateful for kind of just populates. You know, it just becomes more and more. You start really, really tiny.